So finally, here's a video that some of you might have been waiting for, which is actually about this car that was sat in the corner of my workshop while I was working on the Mark IV. It's been here. When did I get it? Oh, lost track. So there she is, Mark 1.6L in Titan Blue. It's quite rare to have it all one colour, Titan Blue. That's quite a late Cortina colour, that one. So starting the boot as we're back here. Here we go. Now if you look, it really is tremendously solid in there. Now you can see all that. I'll come to that in a minute. Spare wheel well, very good. It's had a tow bar which I've had to take out because there was no tow hitch on it. There it is down there. I've got to cut that piece of angle just there. I've got to cut that off and smooth it, and then I'll put it back with another tow bar, another ball on the end. Probably won't tow with it, but it's good to have a tow bar on an estate car. And you look and you'll see all this is so good in here. All that floor. Gone a little bit around the seals, not that uncommon for an estate car, to be honest. And look at that in there, look, the original jack and wheelbase still in there. Now it has gone behind here. I'll put the trims back because you can't buy any of these panels behind here. But there is a plan in place. It will mean a visit to Classic Car Bunker to see Marcus and Dale. We've already got a plan in place to do these, and the other couple of bits of welding that will need doing on this. So that is the tailgate. Underneath, I had it a couple of weeks ago. You can see all this mess under here. It was absolutely caked in mud under there. I had the old fuel tank out, and you can see it really isn't too bad under there. Needs a good clean and an underseal, really. But I had a Mark IV Mondeo that's 2008, and that was in worse condition. Trust me. Look at that, mate. You know, it's got to remember the age of this thing. It's like 40 odd years old. So try and get round there with all the rubbish that's in my workshop. Lower quarter, not too bad there. A little bit. Get it right down, but it really isn't anything to worry about. That there is probably the worst bit of welding on the car. So you can see this is, yeah, you'll need a piece putting in there, and a piece at the end, that bit there. So that'll all need cutting out and redoing. That's probably the same. By far the worst bit on the car, that is. But you can see along the sill there, look good. Doors. I mean, bloody hell, look at the doors. You can see this side. This side's actually a bit darker than the other side, and I'll explain why in a minute when I get to it. Yeah, look, all the door insides, tubs, all good. You can't really see the floors because I've got them with rubbish in here. Just car parts everywhere. But I'll take you through all that. But you probably know what this is going to involve. I'll get to that in a minute. Well, those of you that know me, I should say. So I've had to do the window regulators. I think Mark V ones are a different design to the previous Cortinas. And I think where it had been, this car's been sat, and they just got sticky. So I've replaced them with these earlier Mark IV ones, Mark III. So that works lovely now. In there, a little bit of moulding, just needs a bit of cleaning up. But it's all there, look, even got the old stereo. Headlining, look at that headlining as well. Some visors need a clean. Look at the headlining, look at that. Really, really good. Now, this has had work done, you can see. All this is all nice and solid. If you get round the front, you'll see that front valance. So in this this side here, you can see it's gone rotten because the wings on this were rotten, the originals. And you've got a dent under there, look, and a hole there. But I have got a replacement valance, so that's not the end of the world. It's just a bit of a job to do. I can't weld, so I'm going to have to get someone to weld that on. There's all the engine bay, look at that. So someone had started to prep this. Now the story behind this car was, I can remember the lad that bought this, must have bought it about 8 years ago, started working on it. You can see all this work that's been done on the car, welding. They're prepping the engine bay to be painted. The car got stripped inside. Very sadly passed away, and it was very sad. Shook the Cortina world because a lot of us knew him. He was a lovely lad, and this car's been sat ever since. So obviously, eventually, it's come up for sale. And you can see this is why it's faded, because it's been sat so many years in the sun. But it's solid, mainly solid, with the exception of that arch at the back, which I'll get sorted. Okay, here we go. Here's the interior. So 96,000 miles on the clock. Really nice, lovely L two-spoke steering wheel. And look at that classy steering wheel colour. Got to love that. I'm going to leave that on there. I don't care what people say. Floors are actually good. They've had repairs right in the corners near the front of the sills and the arches on both sides. I don't think you'll see down. Oh, there you go. You'll probably just about see down there. It's had a bit of repair work. Usual Cortina stuff, really. Nothing. It has had a bit of inner sill, either that side or this side. I can't remember. But along there, look, looks very nice indeed. Again, door's good. I've had to change this regulator as well because that was sticking the same as the passenger side. There you go. It's just very faded paint with not very much lacquer left on it. So I shall probably, before I take it out on the road for any time, have to, excuse my camera work, probably give it a coat of lacquer. And there's a tailgate. They normally all rot out. I remember my dad's one years ago. Excuse me. But yeah, so that is like an intro, really. Now, as you can see, obviously it's a rolling shell, and this is how I received it. It has got wings with it, replacement Titan blue ones, no less, which was amazing. They are in. I've put them in my garage out of the way, just so I can get to. It's just easier to do the suspension and everything when you build the car without the wings on. Now, engine choice. So this young lad was going to put a Scorpio Cosworth engine, what's called a BOB 24 valve, out of the Scorpio Ultima. So I am going to put one in. That one here, that's one I've had for quite a few years. So I shall probably use that one, but I have got a spare tucked away under there if I need it. So that shall go in. And for those of you that don't know or aren't familiar with Cortinas, so that is out of a late, well, it'll be late 90s Scorpio. But the block itself uses virtually the same block with the same mounting points as the earlier Cortina 2.3 engine that came in Mark 5s and Mark 4s as well. So on V6 engine mounts, that will bolt straight into this car. Nothing else needed mechanically wise from the engine. Then I'm going to have a Type 9 gearbox, which is here. Just going through that, putting new seals on it. And I shall clean that up and probably paint it. And that will bolt straight up into there because I've got the proper mount with a 2 or 2.3 litre prop. That will fit perfectly. Then the biggest pain, as with most conversions, will be the fuel pipes, because that obviously will run fuel injection, that engine, and I dare say you're probably talking, 30 plus psi. So that will need upgraded fuel pipes, which I have, and that will also mean that I need a swirl pot. But never fear, I've got. Oh, that's the old tank. Look at the state of that. That was very crusty when I took that out. So there's my other one I had made. There you go. Dropping. So that pump is from any 90s Ford, really. Fiestas, Granadas, Sierras had them, and that drops straight in. That's been fabricated into there, and in there you've got, it's just like a cup, a little metal cup called a swell cup, and that's just to stop fuel starvation when you go around the corners, and that's important when you're running such high pressure fuel injection systems. So that's taken care of. Perfect. And so the other thing I've got to do is do the electrics for the ECU. I'll walk around here. In here, there's the ECU mounting point. Perfect. That was Gavin Black showed me that one. You just, well, you can't really see in there because it's very dark. There's a lip, a metal lip, which you just drive out a bit with either a punch or a socket extension or something like that. Just enough to wedge the ECU in. And that fits in there perfectly, actually. And then I think even the glove box will fit once that's all taken care of as well, which will be handy. Got my brakes there off the Taunus. Rest in peace. What else have I got in here? Lots of stuff. Scent caps. So there's a hint of what wheels I'm going with. I haven't got them here, they're in my garage, but they do look absolutely splendid. Yeah, where did I put it? If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Let's have a look. No, there's the automatic gearbox mount. Lots of things in there for Cosworths and lambda sensors. Got to figure all that out. Probably going to have to terminate them on because they're 4-pin, and the loom for this car is an old BOA loom. So they're 3-pin. Yeah. So yeah, cool. So that's the car really. I'll try and get. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah. A very, very good start, this thing. And at some point, I am going to have to get busy now. I hate painting cars, but it does need doing. But on the whole, it really isn't very bad in there. It's you can see it's been prepped a long, long time ago. But I do have on the roof of the car there rattle cans. I've got primer, some Titan Blue made up, got some Scotch pads, so I have to get busy with that at some point, much to my disgust. I've got some replacement bushes. These are the ones that are actually in the car. Now these were the good ones. They look actually reusable. You could clean them up and reuse them with some grease. But the other two were mounted back to front, and so with these Cortinas, obviously the hole down there is where the bush goes. Got one there, each side of the car, and they mount that way. That notch indicates where it should sit, like that. So the ones I took out were mounted probably like that, which meant all the load was on this edge, and it completely misshaped and mutilated the bush, and I've had to bin them. Let's say I've got a replacement set so no fear. Got 2 spares, which is always handy. You know what it's like. Pop them in there. That one's gone for a little walk. So there we are. So there we are. I hope you like the car, folks. I certainly look forward to getting stuck in on it. So if you want to see me get stuck in on it, please, leave a like, even subscribe if you want to, if you're that crazy. And yeah, give me the motivation to get cracking on it. I'm down here today. I've got a day on the car where I'm just going to try and suss stuff out. But I shall try and keep you updated as I go. Yeah, and I'm hoping that it'll be a hell of a car once it's done, because I want to actually do this right as well, rather than, my problem is I'm very impatient and I'd rather just get things built and done. I need to do this one a bit better. I've got to paint the engine bay, and I've got to treat underneath before I put the fuel tank in and all that laborious stuff. So yeah, drop a comment, give me some sort of motivation to do it. I'm sure I will anyway, but that'll egg me on a little bit as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I haven't rambled too much and bored people. But it's, yeah, very cool beast. It'd be lovely to see this thing back on the road, because it's got to be, I think my memory serves me right, I think it was 2011 this came off the road. Well, it was the last MOT. So it'd be good to get another one living again. I do enjoy that, getting cars back on the road. I must be mad. Anyway, that's it for now. See you again soon. Thank you.